Want to speak real Persian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at PersianPod101.com.
10 ways to amaze native speakers. It is very fun. Let's start. ممنون ولی فارسی زبون مادری من نیست. Thank you but I'm not a native speaker actually. ممنون ولی فارسی زبون مادری من نیست. Thank you but I'm not a native speaker actually. Oh, it means you already speak very well and someone told you are a native speaker. That's perfect. Go ahead. فقط 1 سال طول کشید تا بتونم روون صحبت کنم. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. فقط 1 سال طول کشید تا بتونم روون صحبت کنم. It took me only 1 year to become fluent in English. I think 1 year is quite good. Anyway, I think it depends on how much time you spend on it or what other languages you already know. من تا 3 سال دیگه فارسی و مثل یه فارسی زبان صحبت میکنم. I'll speak Persian like a native speaker in 3 years. من تا 3 سال دیگه فارسی و مثل یه فارسی زبان صحبت میکنم. I'll speak Persian like a native speaker in 3 years. Yeah, as I said, I think different factors affect on the duration of being a native speaker. And you can speak like a real native. من 10 ساله که دارم فارسی یاد میگیرم. I've been learning Persian for 10 years. من 10 ساله که دارم فارسی یاد میگیرم. I've been learning Persian for 10 years. That's quite a long time and it means you already know how much this language is beautiful and unique. من میتونم فیلمای ایرانی رو بدون زیرنویس تماشا کنم. I can watch Iranian movies without subtitles. من میتونم فیلمای ایرانی رو بدون زیرنویس تماشا کنم. I can watch Iranian movies without subtitles. That's amazing. If you really can do it, it means you can really understand anything and you are really pro. Watching Iranian movie can make you familiar with their culture and you can understand a lot of items even. فارسی یاد گرفتن سرگرم کننده و آسونه. Persian is fun and easy to learn. فارسی یاد گرفتن سرگرم کننده و آسونه. Persian is fun and easy to learn. Yes, it is absolutely, and this is really beautiful. And when you start to learn Persian, you open the door of Persia's treasure of culture, beauty, and even wisdom. فارسی رو خودم دارم یاد میگیرم. I'm learning Persian all by myself. فارسی رو خودم دارم یاد میگیرم. I'm learning Persian all by myself. Nowadays with internet, all free materials and good resources for learning, you can do self-learning fast and easy. But if it was 50 years ago, it wasn't that much easy. من هر چیو که گفتی کامل فهمیدم. I completely understood everything you said. من هر چیو که گفتی کامل فهمیدم. I completely understood anything you said. It's perfect. Congratulations. It means you can easily communicate with the Persians and you can speak with them easily. من میخوام معلم زبان فارسی بشم. I want to become a Persian language teacher. من میخوام معلم زبان فارسی بشم. I want to become a Persian language teacher. I was a teacher before when I was in Iran and I know being and working as a muallim is very interesting and it is full of fun. دوست دارم بتونم یه روز کتاب ترجمه کنم. I'd like to be able to translate books. دوست دارم بتونم یه روز کتاب ترجمه کنم. I'd like to be able to translate books some days. I hope you really can do that. The books of Rumi and Khayyam, the Persian poet of 800 years ago, now are among the bestseller of US books.
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1. Surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2. Learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3. Speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4. Practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Iran. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The most commonly used informal greeting is salam. Salam. Salam means hi or hello. We use it when we meet someone or enter a room with people in it. We can use it as a greeting almost anywhere. After salam, we almost always say, how are you? When we greet friends or close relatives. It might seem strange to say it every time, but this is a part of normal everyday conversation in Persian. Let's try out the informal way of saying hello, how are you? Salam, chetori. Chetori. The I in chetori makes this sentence second person. The formal way becomes slightly longer. Add hale shoma, which means your health. Salam, hale shoma chetore. Hale shoma chetore. Hale shoma chetore literally means how is your health. We use the word shoma, you, instead of saying chetori to make this more formal. Now, if you remember the first lesson, adding et to a word made it informal. Therefore, if you add et to hal instead of shoma, you make the whole sentence informal. Salam, halet chetore. Halet chetore. Notice that there are many ways of saying the same phrase in Persian, making it shorter or longer. But remembering the basic words will help you get through almost any conversation. Literally, salam means hello. We use other phrases too, but we always add salam at the start of a greeting. In the morning, we say salam, sob bekhair. Sob bekhair. Sob is Persian for morning, and bekhair means to be good. So it really means wishing you a good morning. In Persian, we don't say good afternoon or good evening very much. Good morning and good night are used more often. During the rest of the day, the most common greeting is just salam. Good night is shab bekhair. Shab bekhair. Notice that we didn't say salam before shab bekhair. That's because we don't say good night when we meet someone. It is only used when leaving. In Persian, there is only one word for saying goodbye, but there is a small difference between the formal and informal versions. Formal, khoda hafez. Khoda hafez. Informal, khoda fez. Khoda fez. Khoda hafez literally means may God protect you, but it is used to say goodbye. Now you have learned many different ways to greet people in Persian. Let's review them all one more time. When meeting friends or relatives, salam, chetori. Salam, halet chetore. When meeting a stranger, someone older, or someone we don't know well, سلام، حال شما چطوره? To say good morning, سلام، صبح بخیر. To say good night, شب بخیر. When living in a formal situation, خدا حافظ. When living in an informal situation, خدافظ. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Anita's advice. In formal situations, Persian people of the same gender commonly greet each other by shaking hands. However, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we hug and kiss each other on both cheeks. Don't be afraid to do this with your Persian friends, and don't be shocked when someone from the same gender tries to hug you or kiss your cheeks. It's perfectly normal. Remember that this is only if both people are the same gender. In Persian-speaking countries like Iran, you cannot shake hands or hug and kiss a person from the other gender in public.
Want to speak real Persian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at PersianPod101.com.
In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So, access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1, take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on PersianPod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign-up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds, and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2, read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the dialogue study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3, shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4, use the dialogue study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5, use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the dialogue study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6, review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7, listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8, review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9, participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10, move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning.